Hello and welcome to Animal Thoughts Live with you every Monday at this time, 6 p.m. UK time. The clocks have changed, which might be confusing. Um, what did we do? We went back. In the UK. So I'm hoping this still reaches you at a time that you can join us. This is just the most incredible way for us to share in animal communication and also in intuitive species communication, which is communicating with animals, but also communicating with the other aspects of nature. For instance, trees and plants and rocks and mountains and those things that are important to you. So wherever you are in the world, come and say hi in the comments and let us all connect energetically across this beautiful planet. So say where you're listening from and I'll give you a little bit of a shout out. And if you have an animal with you, write that in too. I have Grace with me, just here. Um, she insisted that I did feed her before I began being live with you. So she's going to be all comfortable and hopefully not too noisy. You might hear her snoring. So, who is with you? Do you have an animal with you right now? And here's another question I'd like to ask you. What is your interest in animal communication? For you personally, why are you here? What is it about communicating with animals that calls to your heart? Or maybe your soul? What is it that you wish to learn or know about animal communication? Or maybe you are communicating with animals already. So we have people in Belgium. Hello, Anne. Your clocks went back as well. Love you too. Love to see you. And we also have Jan in Bedfordshire. With Nita here. So what is it? What is it about communicating with animals? I'd love to know what draws you to it. I first discovered animal communication back in 2004. Gosh, that feels like such a long time ago now. And then and then I went on workshops and I trained. And it was actually my dog Morgan that introduced me to the subject because I'd never heard of it, and I was pretty skeptical at the beginning, to be honest. I needed some proof that this was real. Yeah, so do come in, say hello. Hi, Katie. Where are you in the world? It was the first workshop I attended it was a bit of a mind challenge, let's put it that way. And I thought, oh my goodness, this is crazy. This isn't real. It's not possible. It's just like Dr. Dolittle. And then I was asked to communicate with a partner's rabbit from a photograph. And the short story is that this rabbit, from a photograph of the rabbit, was able to express things to me that I received. So, and I got things wrong too, should say that. So, favorite food, got that wrong. But favorite friend, that was a dark coffee colored rabbit, and that's who that rabbit was bonded with. And favorite activity, I got this image in my mind, just like those images that we see when we're dreaming, of a sofa. And it turned out that this rabbit loved to sit on a sofa and watch TV and had a favorite program, and it was You've Been Framed. Do you know that program? So that got me questioning so much about my beliefs and my place in the world, because if it's possible to communicate with a rabbit just from a photograph of them, what does that mean about connection across a distance? connection with different species, and then receiving things using our senses in order to understand that animal better. And I went on another workshop. Of course I did, because I was like, hang on, because if I can communicate with the rabbit, what does that mean for other animals, animals that are in shelters, animals that are being used and tested on, animals that are factory farmed, and animals that are suffering? Because if we can ask them, how do you feel? That means that they can communicate their feelings, and they can communicate their thoughts, their desires, their likes, their dislikes. Their character comes across as complete individuals. So on that second workshop, that's when I discovered that this was real. And it was when I had my soul awakening, and everything in me said, yes, this is the thing that I would like to do. And I left my 15-year career as a theatre stage manager, not an actress. Some people think she's on the stage. I was never on the stage. I was behind the scenes, being told what to do by the director and the different creatives. So I was a stage manager, very grounded. Okay, that was 2004. Then I trained, and then I started working professionally in 2006. That's how I discovered animal communication. How did you discover it? This surely can't be the first time, but maybe it is. Put first time right here on this live. How did you discover animal communication? And did you believe in it straight away? Or were you skeptical like I was and just thought, these people are crazy, this isn't real? What were your thoughts about it? I'd love to know. Oh, and Christina, you were amateur stage manager years ago. Hello, fellow stage manager. And I just give a quick shout out. We've got Nita from India, Pat from Colorado. I just wrote to you, Pat, on the other side, the Pride. Rita, Minnesota. And Delphina is now, you're in Sardinia now. She gets about. Okay. So what is it? What is it about animal communication? I'm currently with you on Facebook here and Instagram here if you think that I'm doing funny things with my hands. So Britt says she's got an interest in animal communication to share to the masses that animals are sensitive, spiritual, wise beings, teachers, guides, and healers. Yeah. And Pat discovered that animal communication was real and she could do it. And she's written a book about dog training as well. Put it. What's it called, Pat? Give your book a little plug. We're sharing and caring here. Delphina said, I experience a more magical world communicating with animals, trees, and spirits. They are wise beings, and I feel like my higher self talking back to me. I do have a practice question for today. Okay. About flies. They're not listening to you, Delphina. Okay, we'll see if we're going to go there. And Lewis was gifted one of my books and was fascinated. Was then invited with Nikki to my training day. Yes, your beautiful Nikki was a guest animal teacher at one of my workshops. Talking of my books, I prepared them. This is the first one I wrote back in 2010, Heart to Heart. So this is a really good introductory book if you have never heard of animal communication, or if you're fairly new to it. There are lots of case studies in here, consultations I've had with my clients' animals, and how these different styles of communication have been able to help different animals. and their guardians. And it also explains my journey into animal communication from a complete never heard of it, didn't even know it existed, to turning professional. One of my favorite books, this one. Um, your first book, still love it. Thank you, Lewis. Then this is my second one. The Animal Communicator's Guide Through Life, Loss and Love. Now, this dog here, this is Morgan, and we essentially co-wrote this together, though it was his idea. And he got me to write about my experience of his dying, he's heading towards transition, and also my experience of that, which were very different experiences. And then after he transitioned, he came to me and said, sit down. And in about 30 minutes, he literally gave me the chapter titles and told me what he wanted to be in this book. And the premise of this book, the reason he really wanted this book to be out in the world, is that it's going to help guardians of animals have this much deeper understanding of how to care for them towards the end of their life or during ill health, and how to support them during those last few moments, and what the animals want, whether they want assisted transition or whether they don't, and what they want after that, whether they want their body cremated or buried, and where and how, and what their experience is of the afterlife. And the book is to offer you support while you support your animals. That's the whole premise of this book. It is a motive. It's emotional. So you need some packet of tissues, or as some people say to me, you need a packet of tissues for heart to heart, and you need a box of tissues for life, lost, love. That book means so much to me because it's a co-creation with Morgan. And then my last book, look at these little stickers I've got. This is my most recent book, Animal Communication Made Easy. So this is a really good book if you are ready, your soul is saying to you, I want to discover how to do this myself. What do I have to do? What are the steps? And what happens if it goes wrong? What happens if I'm not getting anything? What do I do then? Help me. So this is the how-to book. It's got my 5-step method in it, which is really simple. It's got ways to receive the information, how to know that you're receiving and not making it up. And then, of course, how to work through any barriers and blocks that you may have, and perceptions that I'm not doing this. So it's got kind of everything in there for you. And I'm dying to write my 4th book, and this is my big plan next. Okay, I just want to read out what Laura wrote. Laura wrote, animals remind us about deep truth, also how to be playful and real. They have many messages for us to learn from. They are great teachers, magical beings. Lovely. Oh, which one are you reading, Piper? Are you reading Made Easy? Okay. Well, welcome everybody. Welcome. If you were with me last week, we had a mammoth week last week. We communicated with 5 different species of animals here on Monday. And then on Wednesday and Thursday, we held the free oneness workshop, which was so beautiful. If you weren't able to attend, what you can do is you can grab the front row pass for the replay. So don't feel like you've completely missed out. So in Instagram, if you go to my bio, you'll find the link to oneness, and then just scroll down the page and you can see where you can get the front row pass to get the replays. And it's the replays of not only the 2 workshops, but also the live Q&A. And the first part was really focused on animal communication, and the second part of the workshop was focused on communicating with nature, so trees, rocks, mountains, crystals, rivers, fire, all of those aspects. Those replays are limited. They will expire within 30 days. So if you are interested in taking that one workshop, then click the link, get the front row pass now, and enjoy that as soon as you can. The other thing that happened last week, I told you it was a mammoth week, so mammoth, is that we opened the doors to our Pride community, which is one of my happiest places to be. And I know that we have some Pride members with us now, including some of the newbies that have joined. So hello to everyone that's just joined the Pride. We do have enrollment open until this Thursday. So if you are interested in the Pride, then do click the link in the bio for you on Instagram. And just here, I'm putting it in for you now on Facebook. So that doors are open just for a very limited time. It's nice to welcome a group in together so that you share the experience together. We do have our first animal power up on November the 6th. And we also have an orientation compass call for those of you that join right now, and lots more. And someone wrote to me today to say it would be nice to have a bit of a taster of the Pride. So before I buy, and I'm like, okay, well, I get that. I completely get that. We often like to try before we buy. So I've also created for you a Pride pack, and I don't think the link is in Instagram yet, so I'll get that for you. But if you are on Facebook, you can click that link and you can download the pack when you've got this link. And in it, you're going to get a flavor basically of what the Pride is, including you'll get worksheets that you can download and an entire animal power up with polar bear, which is so special. And it's 1 hour 30, but maybe you can do it in the evening, maybe you can do it the weekend. But if you grab that pack now, you get a taster. But just remember that the doors to enrollment to the Pride to become a member of the community do close on the 31st of October. So you have to be fairly swift in your decision making. And then we will move forward as our community until the next time. And I'm not sure when we're going to open the doors again. It certainly won't be this year, and it won't be early next year. So this is a great time to join us and get to know our beautiful family, where we meet every month. And there are replays, of course, if you can't make it, because things happen, appointments come up. But if you can, we meet on the first Wednesday of every month at 7 p.m. UK time. And we also meet on a Tuesday every quarter of the year for our campfires. And we have lots of other beautiful things filtering in. We've got these things also called member spotlights, which are once a month, where we highlight one of our amazing members and you get to know them better. So it's a chance for them to talk about themselves, why they love the Pride, why they love animals, what they're getting from it, how they then integrate things that they learn inside the Pride with their real life every day, with their own animals, with work, with relationships, with everything. And there's lots more. There's lots more. We've got the Conversations with Nature World Summits inside the Pride, the 72 expert speakers in nature and animal communication. We've got animal communication lessons from the world's experts in animal communication. You'll have heard of them. We've got sound healing and we've got the most beautiful, supportive community, and we've got a space, of course, where you can meet and chat to each other, and that's being worked on too. So the Pride has existed since July 2020, and it's ever growing, and the community is growing, and what the community get from it, and also what they ask for, are actioned on. So it's a beautiful, beautiful space to be. We'd love to invite you in. There is a lot of personal and spiritual transformation inside the Pride. You can make friends. You can remain introverted and not connect if you don't want to. You can just tune into the replays. You don't have to show up live. There's lots of variability in it to try and accommodate everyone, because I know that we're all very different. Okay. So where's our focus going to be today? What is it that you want, and what is it the animals want for you? That's what I'm wondering. What are your questions today? Okay. I feel like the dogs really want to be heard. So does anybody have a dog question? Okay, I've just heard something different. In fact, what we're going to do is I'm going to guide you in a communication with your own animal. So it doesn't need to be a dog. It can be a dog, and I have one right here, Gracie. It could be a cat, could be a horse, could be flies, Delphina. It could be mice, could be rats, hens, cows, leopards. And then we'll definitely come to your question, Canto. Let me just quickly write that down. How can we humans collaborate more with the animal kingdom? Okay. So I think that's what we're going to do, and I hope that's good for everyone. So whether you have your animal with you, whether they're in physical body or in spirit, or whether they are located somewhere else at the moment, we're still going to be able to communicate with them. So I hope that you're somewhere quiet where you won't be disturbed. And you might want a piece of paper with you as well. We'll do a short communication, and then I will open the floor and answer your questions. And we might even do some communication with your animal as well, from me. And it's absolutely fine to communicate with an animal that transitioned many years ago. And the thing about the soul, Katie, is that the soul is non-local. It's not in time and space. It's just us that believes in this linear life. But as Dr. Jude Currivan says, we are mind and consciousness. That's what we are. Animals are too. So we can communicate and connect across time and space at any point. And it's not wrong to try and communicate with an animal that passed many years ago. And certainly if they don't want to communicate with you, they'll let you know. They're just not going to do it. All right, everyone. So feet on the floor. Place your left hand over your heart and focus on your breathing. And I invite you to breathe in and out of your nose. Breathing in over the count of 3. And out over the count of 3. Breathing in. Breathing out. And relax with your out breath. Breathing in and breathing out, and deeply relaxing your body. Breathing in, exhale and let go. And now bring your focus to your heart and think of the animal or the species that you would like to communicate with. And I want you to think about them with unconditional love, with a curiosity of heart, and from a place of neutrality. And now invite them to come closer to you. I invite you to come close to me, energetically. I wish to communicate with you. And if you feel their presence or see them with your mind's eye, or just have this feeling of yes throughout your body, then you can pursue a communication. And let's start with an open question. How are you feeling right now? Everybody ask, how are you feeling right now? And when you've asked the question, you wait in that gap, that pause for a response. And it might come very quickly to you, or it might take a while. And you're going to receive that as a thought form, like you hear it with your inner voice, an emotion that you feel, a physical sensation in your body. Maybe the response is a smell or a taste or a pure gut knowing. Receive that. Acknowledge it with a thank you. And then ask your animal or your species your most burning question. So, Sonia, ask your senior dog, my darling, what is it you need from me? Or, how can I help you? Delphina, ask your fly friends, why do you want to be inside my caravan? What is it your burning question? Ask the animal now. I want you to trust it, acknowledge it, and thank them. And now ask this animal or this species, have you got any message for me? Any desire for me to change something or myself? Or any gift for me? Have you got any message or gift for me? You might find that they want to gift you something and they put it into the palm of your hand. Or they show you something. Or it's a feeling that you receive. Or there could be a message you hear with your inner voice. And now thank this wonderful animal or this species. Thank them for communicating with you. Let them know that you might come back and communicate with them again. That you will offer the invitation. And then take a nice deep breath in. And then release. Release your left hand and open your eyes. And I would love you now to share, what was it that you received? What did your animal share? What was the species of animal? What was their name? What did you ask? What did they share? And maybe just share one thing. What was the most important part of that communication for you that you would like to express? And it's really good to share our communications because it gives them a validation as well. And we often move forward feeling more confident because we've shared it. We help other people when we share our communications because they get to witness it, and it's encouraging for others as well. So let us know, what was it that you communicated? And I hope, Annette, that you asked your cat about the eating. So we had one on Instagram here from Mountain Lion, be bold. And did you communicate with the dogs in the neighborhood? Piper's dog Rennie, who transitioned last month, told her to love herself more and trust. Bless Rennie. Isabella said, I didn't sense an answer from Sheba, my dog, as to how to stop her going crazy when her prey drive, when we go out the door. I wonder, Isabella, whether you asked the question without having any judgment. And I wonder whether you asked the question in a way that she could respond in any way that she wanted to. Because if we ask questions with judgment there, or in a way that we want them to change their behavior, that's not an open conversation. And I'm not saying that you did this, that you might have done it perfectly fine. But it's just something to be mindful of, especially when there's behavior that we feel is not beneficial either to them or to us and needs some kind of resolution. When we ask our questions, it's really important how to ask them. Okay, and Delphina said, the housefly just blatantly did not want to speak with me in this session. But another animal came in, a children's farm goat, that she was sitting in when she was very young, talking for hours. This is a long one, right? You asked, how are you feeling right now? And the goat said, in spirit, I am good. I have long incarnated into a new way of being, but I'm here to remind you of your joyful innocence of when you just sat with animals for hours on end, and it was your own world, and it was okay. Oh, can you feel that? Do you remember those times? Did you have those times when you used to just sit with animals because you had time, because life wasn't so busy and crazy, and you sat with animals and you were just being together? Oh, just Warms my heart reading it. That open innocence is magnetic. Rekindle it. Goats are so joyful anyway, we make life play. Us goats from spirit want humanity to know, to start something new with play. When you are learning this, do not start with the most serious stuff. Start open and start playful. This is great advice. I hope everybody's paying attention to this code. Ask the nature beings funny questions or what they find fun. Often it's just weird replies that you cannot make it up, so it builds confidence with your practice. Fabulous. Great advice. Keep it playful. Animals love it when it's playful. Oh, Pat, I was going to ask about your dog, Helen, how she was doing, because we communicated with her last week, didn't we? And also the other animals that we communicated with, who were Benjamin Cat and Abigail Hen, and of course the mountain lion was with us. So Helen said she feels warm and relaxed, and she's happy that Grace is there and feels she is her friend and will help keep her safe. She really will. Grace is very protective and will certainly look after Helen for you, Pat. Okay, yes, try with your housefly later. I don't know how to say your name, love. 9. I saw my old dog Rolf, a boxer. He was so full of joy, jumping up and down, and he wanted me to feel the same joy. Yes. Annette, you did ask about the eating. Brilliant. I hope that's helpful for you and for your cat. Here on Instagram, we've got Katie communicated with the magpies that visit her. I saw them up high looking down and seeing that the scraps I give them are a small part of a bigger picture. Felt like a double meaning. I can use this perspective too. Brilliant. Love that. And we had someone else. Poppy, my dog, came and sat on my lap. Her message to me was to follow my heart's desire. Brilliant message. I think we can all hear that. Follow your heart's desire. Lavinia met with the lion Nora. Okay, so Nora, you had a question. Let me come back to this. Where's it gone? Oh, it's vanished, my darling. I will try and find it again. Oh, here. I want to ask you, so you want to ask me if the animal wants something from us which out of intellectual mind find no possibility to achieve. How do we deal with this? Yeah, sometimes animals do ask things of us that we can't achieve. I remember going to a cat sanctuary and the cheetah wanted me to help them get out. Was so depressed and living such an awful life. And I couldn't action that. I couldn't get this cheetah out. I think you have to acknowledge your limitations. We're not, as much as we'd love to be, completely invincible. There are things sometimes that are out of our control. Energetically, we can vision, we can hold the intention with our imagination, which is what visioning is, that the thing that's asked comes about, that's what we want the universe to pay attention to. Because as mind and consciousness, if we have that thought is then in the field. So in that way, we can all, including I with the cheetah, do our best to create about change for the highest good through our thoughts and through our intentions. But not to be hard on ourselves if we can't achieve the change asked of us. what I really feel the animal kingdom don't want us to feel is shame. They don't want us to feel bad for not being able to do something if it just seems the impossible on a practical, physical level. But there's always the possibility on a energetic, spiritual level that we can create change. So just remember that there's always something we can do. It just may not be the physical thing, and it might not be exactly what the animals asked for. Um, Lewis, your assistant's dog wants you to help him regain his confidence with dogs after being bitten. He gave me a kiss and hoped that he will believe in me enough to help him. Yeah, you've got it, Nikki. You can. Rita asked Schnauzer, Annabelle, on the other side, how to live in the world as it is today. And she told me that I needed to create a world within the world. She wrapped me in love, putting her head over my heart. Lisa received this message. You're on the right path for your next step on your soul path for my soul service. From a soul dog, Ben, who's one of your angel guides who crossed over many years ago. So, so Noni's giving some people some feedback. So we communicated with Abigail, didn't we? Your hen, and Noni just wants you all to know that the messages were very accurate from everyone, and she wanted to give you some feedback. So thank you for that. It's really nice to get some feedback. It helps people a lot. So if you're just joining us, welcome. We're just reading out some of the communication that people experience with an animal that they chose. Okay. Britt was thinking of a transition cat, but a cow came, stood outside your house, and said, we don't understand why we are not allowed our lives. Yeah. If you are communicating with animals and you haven't communicated with the cows yet, then I do invite you to do that. I think it's really good to be communicating with all different kinds of species and not to just limit it to those that are in our immediate circle. Rebecca connected with her dog Clifford, who's a St. Bernard, who passed not long ago. Sorry, Rebecca. He said he felt free. He thanked me for letting him go, and he said that our love is as strong as ever. Love never dies. He doesn't want me to be sad. He told me to love myself and take more time to really love life. What a great message from Clifford. And so many animals communicate this same message in different ways. To love ourselves, to love life, to have fun, to play. Like Bettina, my dog in spirit buddy, he told me to let go of all the things and activities that don't bring me joy. Exactly. So Piper's, whose dog's transitioned very recently, when she asked for about a gift, she said she felt her dog's paw in her hand. That is so special. And Evelyn's goat in spirit, Oliver, was joyous to be in contact. Gave a playful nudge and said to be alert for signs he's with you. Beautiful. Okay, so great communications. I'm going to call it early a little bit today, but I'm going to give some time now to answer your questions. So if you have a question for me about animal communication, about intuitive interspecies communication. Put it in the chat right now. You might have done that already, but everything has just moved now, so I can't see as easily. So if you do have a question for me, then put that in the chat. If you've got any question about the Pride community as well, and you want to know anything about that, take this opportunity to ask me, because the doors to enrollment will close on Thursday. And if you are interested, just go to animalthoughts.com/pride, and then you can see all of the information. I love that Stephanie was given a locket with her own animal's picture in it. I love that. Okay. Any questions, anybody? Okay, Kelly has about I've got a 14-day challenge going, if you're interested in that. You can find it on the front page of my website, animalthoughts.com. So the question is it essential to do steps 1 to 5 all at once? Or can you do step 1 in the morning and steps 2 to 5 in the afternoon when it's quieter? Exactly, Kelly. You can do them at any point during the day, as long as you try to achieve steps 1 to 5 in that one day. That's all you have to do. So yeah, if you find 1 is good in the morning and steps 2 to 5 are better in the afternoon when it's quieter for you, definitely do that. Christina just joined the Pride. Welcome, Christina Bell. I love that you've joined our community. And last night you dreamt of many, many tortoises of all sizes walking. What do you think it means? What's the first thing that comes to your heart? Okay, Piper's got a question about meditation. Can you sit lotus style in chair or floor? Honestly, you know, when I think about meditating, I think as long as you're comfortable, that is the absolute priority. So if you can't sit with your legs crossed over each other, you know, because your hips are too tight or for whatever reason, don't sit like that. Sit in a chair, sit on the floor. I think the only thing to avoid really is lying down, because more often than not, I will find myself, you know, just drifting off to sleep if I lie down. So that might be one to avoid when you're meditating. But if you can sit with your back supported, that would probably work really well for you. Okay. How did I decide to call my community the Pride? Joan, why do you think? It's because I feel a really strong connection to lions. And I thought about the lion pride and the power of that, lion power, lion energy, golden lions, transformation. You can't see them, but I have lions right over my desk here, and white lions. And whether they're tawny white or golden, I'm just really, really drawn to lions. And I thought a lion pride would be a really lovely community feeling of being together and looking out for each other, but also much higher vibrational. So that's why. I could have called it a murder, couldn't I, after crows, but I probably wouldn't have got many people joining, I don't think. I thought the pride coming together would be nice. Stephanie just joined the pride too. Welcome, Stephanie. Stephanie Dark. So you've trained several times over, but for some reason never really feel motivated to practice. Yeah, I'm hoping that this will motivate me and help me understand what my path is. Yeah, I really get that. I find sometimes people will attend a 1 day or 2 day workshop with me, and they're really excited and it's gone really well and they feel like their whole life has changed. And then they just drop it. It's like they go back to the 24/7 routine, and animal communication doesn't get integrated into the life. Thankfully, not with everybody, but there are sometimes after the initial enthusiasm of training, it gets dropped somehow, doesn't it? So the wonderful thing about the Pride is that it's regular, so there's consistency and there's also accountability because we are a community. You're not by yourself. There are others there that will, encourage you. And the more you speak in the power ups and meet each other in the campfires and contribute how it's going and how you feel and what your struggles are in our Facebook group, the more accountability there is, which will keep you motivated. Because I think we all need a bit of motivation. So showing up in some way, and even if you're living in New Zealand and Australia, where the time difference is not quite so lovely, you could still be a member of the Pride, and we do have members from those countries, because there are other avenues to connect with each other and have that accountability. And I'm there with you every month and every quarter of the year, encouraging you along, and these animals are inviting you to communicate with them. I mean, is there anything more special than that? So certainly hope so, Stephanie, for you and everyone else inside the Pride, having that consistency, having the space to share and say how you feel and how it's going, and the accountability is what really makes the Pride powerful and a place that works for people. Okay. So Christine has just said that she senses that the tortoise dream means come out of my shell again after grieving the passing of my father, John, in February. Sending you lots of love, Christina. You go as slowly as you need, with those tortoises with you. Okay, I'm just looking at what other questions I might be able to answer. Yeah. Can you have several dogs in the room when trying to communicate, or only one? Well, to be honest, Piper, you don't even need to have any dogs in the room with you when you're communicating. They can be somewhere else. Like Frankie, my cat, is currently somewhere else. She's up in her bed upstairs. I can just feel her. But Grace is here. But Grace doesn't have to be here for me to communicate with her. The main thing is about your intention, Piper. So if you have one dog that you want to connect with and communicate with, that you make it clear, I'd like to communicate with you, and say their name. But don't be surprised when you literally pick up the phone that the other dogs also want to have a conversation. So try and be intentional, but if you find your other dogs are also wishing to communicate, you might just have to say, I love you, darling. I will definitely make time for us to communicate with each other. But for right now, can I just have 5 minutes with this dog? It's just about thinking it through, explaining, and just being really kind, and not making anyone feel left out. So I hope that helps. Yeah, I get that, Pat. I've been on some trainings with people where the instructor hasn't been a great fit for me, but what I have found is that I've still learned something from them, and then I didn't go back to them, which is possibly what you're doing. So it's interesting, isn't it? Sometimes we learn not what we think we're going to learn from somebody. But we're all teachers and we're all students. That's what I've realized. I learned so much from you. I'm certainly not an expert in anything. Manta Baby, who's wonderful woman who's in the Pride, she has this great hoodie that says perfectly imperfect. And that's kind of how I resonate. I really like one of those hoodies. I think that's a great way to view life. Perfectly imperfect. Okay. Last question. Yeah, I mean, America is really going through something at the moment, if you're based in the US. Um, and in the UK, and I imagine this could be similar for other countries, there's so much on the news about it if you tune into the news. Um, when we feel challenged, I think, by any kind of energy or sense of conflict, okay, one of the animals wants to answer this. And it's Stuart, who's a Maine Coon. This is Stuart. I don't know if you can see him there. Stuart says, you just have to remember who you are. Short and sweet, very sweet. You just have to remember who you are. And do you know who you are at the core of you? If you do, put it in the comments. Let's share that with everyone. Do you know who you are? Do you know who you are? Who are you at the core of you? What does your heart say? Put it in the comments. No one's diving in, or you're scared. So this is what Blossom Goodchild always says. I am the light, I am the love, I am the truth. Yeah. At the core of us, we are love. At the core of us, we are love. And if you are experiencing any kind of challenging situation, come back to I am love, I am love, I am love. So yes, you might be I am a dragon, but the core of you is I am love. I hope that helps. If you've got any questions about the Pride community, you want to email me. If you're thinking of joining, but you've got a little burning question that you want to get off your chest and ask me first, please do send me an email. And you've just got till Thursday to do that. I hope that you will join us in our beautiful community. We're meeting again on November the 6th. And I will see you next week. We will have another Animal Thoughts Live this same time next week. And I don't know what we'll be doing. Maybe we'll be communicating with dragons. That would be fun. Thank you so much for being here. Lots of love to you and your animals, whether they are with you in physical body, whether they've transitioned in spirit. And to all the animals of the animal kingdom, much, much love. Gratitude to all of you. Much love. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have a peaceful week. Bye for now.